leadership following temptation rather than following purpose, in my opinion. But you take it away from there as far as what you're seeing now that you saw the story. What you're thinking?
Personally, you got to actually think to yourself and don't take this literally as the way that I'm going to say it, because the way it's going to sound crazy. But you can train an animal. You can't train a human. And
come on.
According to the Bible, that they were together for almost 1,000 years before they bit that apple.
You would have thought
in 900 years that Eve would have went to Adam before she bit the apple and been like, "Yo, I think I'm gonna go bite one of them apples, see what happened." And Adam would have been like, "No."
Oh my God.
Y'all will understand when you see it. All right, is it being shared? Hold on, here we go. All right, I'll make us a little smaller there so they can see the screen. All right, here we go.
Will only hear the word you are reading. 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 Will only.
All right. Did you peep it out?
I can't hear in one ear.
Oh, I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play it again for everybody, and I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. I'm gonna turn it up for a little bit. I just want everybody to just peep this. This blew my mind, and it put a lot of things into perspective for me. But take a look again.
Only hear the word you are reading. Will only hear the word you are reading. Will only hear the word you are reading.
So pretty much you're only going to hear the word that you're reading, which to me, my takeaway was we see things based on perspective. My lens is different than other people's lens. And a lot of times that's different based on my previous experiences, certain prejudices that I may have. We see this happen all the time in criminal cases where somebody will swear, no, that's the person that robbed me. That's the person that raped me. That's the person in their mind. And especially when they may not have ever seen the person's face, but when the police start saying, hey, it was these three people or this was the situation, you see this occur where people in their mind, they'll start to replay back something and only see it based on a particular perspective. So that's the same thing that we see in life. One situation can happen and I could see it through my lens and it'd be a totally different situation than somebody else that sees it through their lens. And I'm sure that's the case with a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about today, what we're talking about today, but what I'm talking about when it comes to the dynamics between men and women. Like, I didn't want to put that on you, but I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to both of us and they're hearing something totally different than what we may think that they would hear or we would hear if we heard it. So that has to be taken into consideration too.
Yeah. I've often told people this, that people, you can ask 5 different people what they see when they see red, but everybody sees red in a different shade. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that it's red because this is the color that we were taught, hey, that's red.
Right.
But everyone sees a different shade. And in perspective of life, that's the way life works for everyone. Everyone has that unique way that they're seeing something. That one, you ask 10 people that watched a school bus crash, no kids on it. By the time the 10th person get to talking, the bus was full of kids.
Yeah. It's the game of telephone. It's the game of telephone. All right, let's finish this up, and then I don't even know if we'll have time for another one, but this has just been dope. So let's Ant was talking about I disagree with something. I didn't disagree. Hold on. Hold up. I know this isn't. Oh, hold on. My fault. I thought shout out to Robert in the building. I really like this. I watched it the other night. Oh, he's talking about the animation. All right. My dad's probably looking. He probably thought that I saw the Robert Bob L. And I have a college buddy of mine that I went to school with, Robert. Yeah, whatever. I thought that was somebody else. But let's continue with the video, and then we'll see what we'll do after that.
The serpent would be cursed, destined to crawl on its belly. As God speaks, the garden seems to darken. The once perfect land begins to wither. Thorns sprout among the plants. The wind carries a sorrowful whisper. God sent them out of the garden, placing a flaming sword to guard the entrance. The gates of Eden were closed, and humanity began its long journey through a world of hardship. Adam and Eve take their first steps into the wilderness, leaving behind the paradise they once called home. The garden, still beautiful, now lies beyond their reach. They turn back for one last glance. The light within Eden is untouched, but they can no longer enter. Adam and Eve's story is not just about a mistake. It's a story of love, temptation, disobedience, and hope. Through their actions, we learn the consequences of sin, but also the boundless grace of a loving God who promised to save us. And that promise, made long ago, would one day come true in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Through him, we are redeemed, and the gates of paradise are open once more.
It wasn't Adam. I mean, it wasn't Eve. It was Adam, Unc. I don't know if that shifted my view on it. It's all Adam, bro. It's all Adam. You want to know why I'm saying that? Because this is just poor leadership. This is the willingness to budge on certain things. Adam should have let it be known from the jump. Hey, this is what we don't do. You know what I'm saying? This is what we now. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know what was there. You can't just control somebody, perhaps. I understand that, but I'm looking at this and I just see, I'm relating it to now, and this is just. First and foremost, want to give a huge shout out to everybody that continues to tap in with us, like and subscribe and join our community. If you haven't already, please make sure that you do. We look forward to engaging in some dope convo with you that can help us all elevate. So like, subscribe, and maybe even share the video if you're feeling real generous. On that note, we'll let you get back to the video. See you soon. Ew. Leadership following temptation rather than following purpose, in my opinion. But you carried it. You take it away from there as far as what you're seeing now that you saw the story. Or what you're thinking. Personally,
you had to actually think to yourself, and don't take this literally as the way that I'm gonna say it, because the way it's gonna sound crazy. But you can train an animal, you can't train a human. And come on. According to the Bible, that they were together for almost 1,000 years before they bit that apple. You would have thought in 900 years that Eve would have went to Adam before she bit the apple and been like, "Yo, I think I'm gonna go bite one of them apples, see what happened." And Adam would have been like, "No, that's not a good idea. God said no, don't do it." But after 900 years, she still was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go bite that apple. Fuck Adam. I'm gonna go bite." And then once she bit the apple, she was like, "Oh shit, I'm high as fuck. Think about this and see what happened." Yeah. And it all break down from there. It all break down from there.
Yo.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Hold up. But back to the whole, it's funny that you mentioned you could train an animal, you can't train a human. I agree. And this is actually, so think about this. I thought about this the other day, and I was thinking about in the jungle. Now, obviously we're different than animals. Let's be clear on that. Exactly what you said. But when you look at a lion and a lioness, she goes out, gets the food, because that's what makes the most sense. Because if a male lion comes into that particular prod and wants to take over something, that male lion needs to be well rested and fed to make sure, because he's the one that's going to fight that other lion. That other lion that if he kills the male is also going to kill all of that those lionesses cubs, at least the male ones. So when I look at it, I was thinking this was just a thought that I had. I'm like, damn, exactly what has happened to lions who go into captivity, like let's say at the zoo, when the zoo people are now just feeding you and there's no threat of another male lion. Maybe that's why a lot of these male lions in the zoo look so defeated and emasculated, because they no longer have a relevant role. There's no longer a relevant role for them. The women looking like, we don't need you for no protection. Like, you're not. That's what's happened with America. Things have become so privileged in this zoo that we're living in, this bubble where we don't, where things are just given to us, where things are not as hard as they were in the past. Now they're more, and now our problems are different than those problems in the past. So saying that they're not as hard, I should say that they're just different. So we've kind of adjusted to where now the problems that we face are more based on the fact that, damn, I'm not really relevant anymore. They just, the zookeeper's just feeding them now. So the zookeeper's just protecting the lionesses. And maybe the zoo is representation of the government that comes in and says, hey, you don't need no man. You don't need no man. Like, we got you. So that zookeeper is representing the government in a lot of ways. And maybe I'm just reaching with this analogy, but the zookeeper plays the role of the government. So now that male lion who was the guy and was respected for certain things that they brought to the table before, now it's like, oh, I don't need that. Like, bro, we don't need you. We good over here by ourselves.
I'm gonna prove your point. I'm gonna prove your point. I'm gonna prove your point to you to make sure that you understand it makes perfect sense. For real. What happens when you take a lion out of hunting? You have to retrain the lion how to hunt. You just can't habitate a lion for 2 years and then kick it out. It don't know how to hunt. So you got to retrain it how to hunt. Yeah, after you hand feed a lion for 2 years, that lion is done. You can't put it back out. But we do that to people all the time. Yeah, we do that to people all the time. Yeah, people
right.
Paroled, and I'm not talking about paroled out of prison. I'm just talking about paroled out of life.
Damn.
Yeah, and most people don't see it. They don't get it. Don't click for them that the same way that you took a man out of the hunt, now he can't hunt no more. You got to retrain him how to hunt the same way a lion that you trapped, contained, hand fed, and now you're gonna put him back out in the wild. Just don't work. He gonna hang around the fence like, yo, what time is feeding? Yeah. What? Did y'all run out of money? Where's the lamb?
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But we have to, as people, we have to also realize that we have to relearn how to hunt. Yeah, this old dog knows how to hunt. You know what I'm saying? But don't tell my wife that. But some people, they give up that right to learn how to hunt. You know what I'm saying? And it used to be an art. Now it's not. Now it's dumbed down to the point to where you don't even feel the hunt anymore. You know what I'm saying? Okay, me going to Miami Beach. As a hunter, I'm looking around and all of the lioness, they looking back at me talking about fresh meat. It's completely flipped. You know what I'm saying? And this is the part of society that you're really talking about. For real. This is the part of society that you're addressing. It's flipped because trust me, if I take my shirt off, I still got an 8-pack at 60.
Let's go up.
Yeah, I still got an 8-pack at 60. You know what I'm saying? For real. I send you a picture of me and Mush. I'm yoked. Yeah,
Let's go. Talk that shit.
yeah, for real. I'm yoked from my old lady.
Let's go.
Ain't nothing. But young people today, they don't have that. They ain't got none of that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I have a brother, 1 out of 6. I also have 6 sisters, and this is the reason why I was never able to be sexist. All my sisters are older than me. You know what I'm saying? But me and my brothers, we stagnate.
Mm-hmm.
I have one brother though. This dude is unique when it come down to his sense of understanding of women. I used to tell him all the time, dude, if you can date a chick for more than 9 months, marry her.
Wait, one more time.
Months. Yeah, it only take 9 months for her to have a child. If you get to the 10th point that you and her is still cool and y'all see eye to eye on everything, marry. But today, that don't work that way with young people. You know what I'm saying? Today, young people is like, oh well, I could beat the package up on until somebody say something. You know what I'm saying? You go back to the old school days, like with James Earl Jones and Claudine, where you did have the man telling the woman, hey, if I'm paying your rent, you can't have his ass there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was a difference. But that difference is a difference that we don't see in society anymore. You know what I'm saying? They don't check, they don't come by and knock on somebody's door anymore to see if there's a man hiding in the closet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They used to. Yeah, they used to be a job for that. yeah, there used to be a job for that.
Milkman.
You just ping you on your phone and they know, oh no, yeah, Tom's at Mary's. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have that. We don't have that idea of self-respect as men anymore. Men used to have a lot more self-respect for themselves than they do today. And I blame that on society. I blame people my age more so than I blame society, but I do blame society because they perpetrate that. There's the difference between women that would look at the soaps and think that, well, that's the type of life I want to live. No, you're not gonna live like that. I work at Abrams. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm only getting paid $29 an hour to do what I do. You can't have a butler and a maid. You know what I'm saying? I'm barely affording to give you enough money, and there's the problem. Young people expect too much more than what they get.
That's real.
Everybody can't drink Hennessy, but everybody want Hennessy money.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? You know, everybody want to die, but everybody wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die.
Mm-hmm.
It's just those simple things that are misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a graffiti artist don't mean they're gonna hang that graffiti at the Met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you think most people, you ask most people and they'll tell you, oh no, my stuff is so good it should be hung at the Met. No.
The people decide that.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's dang, we gonna have to wrap it up. And I wanted to get into Israel and Iran. But I think we good here. I think maybe we'll tap in with some of this stuff. I'm sure we'll have a lot to update on Friday. And everything with Straw. Yo, all right, so this is what I'm gonna do. For all y'all that have not seen the movie Straw, check it out. Let's see if we can review this together. I'll save this until Friday if possible. I still no. We'll definitely talk about it on Friday. I may put out a separate video, not on the live, throughout the week, but let's plan on touching base on that on Friday, because I think it's just something good that we could just all learn from and just build on, hopefully. So it's I don't know. I wanted to touch on the whole Iran and Israel situation because I'm just a little bit nervous. Like we said earlier, I'm depressed with what's going on in a lot of these areas, and I'm more so depressed with the people's mindset on it and what we accept as human beings. But you know, we'll be the change. We'll be the change. So let me hold on. Let me catch up with this last comment from Ant real quick. And Ant wrote, he said, "Did you like straw?" We'll wait until Friday, and I'll tell you. What do we tell the woman who can afford what she wants, or is given what she needs and wants from someone else, or is given what she needs and wants from someone else when you can't afford it? What do we tell the woman who can afford what she wants, or is given what she needs and wants from someone else? I don't know, bro. That seems like we'll touch on. Let me pontificate on that a little bit, and then we'll address that on Friday. I'm sure we'll be continuing these conversations. So if it's okay with you, I'm gonna start our 45 seconds and get into that. Y'all know what we do at the end of every show. 45 seconds. You take the time to meditate, manifest, get your breath work in, just get your mind right, whatever it may be. You take that 45 seconds. If you're in a safe place, feel free to close your eyes. If not, do whatever you feel is best. We're going to take 45 seconds to just breathe and making sure that we're keeping the main things, and that we're prioritizing our purpose, all these other things. Well, now I'm telling y'all what to do with y'all 45. So you do what you need to do for your 45. One thing I will say is let's every exhale represent getting rid of the negative energy, and every inhale represent inhaling that positive energy. So let's take 45 seconds starting now. All right, we'll do one last exhale and all that negative, inhaling all that positive. Y'all know we here to do Elevate on Purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, raising our standards, challenging ourselves to become the best leaders we can become, and to grow into the people we need to become to accomplish these things that we set out to accomplish, to make sure that we're built to go after the goals that we set forth for ourselves as we strive for that purposeful abundance, strength and honor, onward and upward. Y'all know what it is when I say get to that bag. If you don't, I mean, focus on the things that are aligned with you, taking the straightest and most direct route, or whatever route, to you living in your purposeful abundance, pursuing your purpose, and making that impact on the world that you want to make, what we like to call our personal legend. What's in my bag? Peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and everything we do, integrity. And I'll let you finish it out.
Hey, just remember, they made tanks to be tools of war, but they made Jeeps to take you to tanks. You can't be a tank and pretend to be a Jeep, and you can't pretend to be a Jeep and pretend to be a tank. I'm just saying.
Something to think about. Appreciate you, Definitely appreciate you. Quee sent the fire emojis. Appreciate all of y'all that tap in. Really love y'all. Y'all keep the show going when y'all are in the comments. We are all looking to just grow from this. So I now have some things to think about. I started off the show thinking that I was, am I sexist? And Professor King sent some words that I need to think about. Hopefully y'all kind of understood why I was questioning those things. And I don't know. We'll just go from there. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
All right.